seeing me, if you're seeing my slides, and if you're seeing me on the corner of, on the bottom left corner. I hope you see me. Give me some signs that you can see me. I'm going to check my phone to see if my colleague can confirm that you are seeing me. So yes, it's live now. Can you give me a confirmation? We see you and your slide. Ellie, thank you very much. So we are ready to go. So thank you very much for being here with us tonight. My name is Francesca, and I'm the WordPress Community and Partnership Manager at SiteGround, the independently owned web hosting company with over 16 years of experience. You're going to see me watch in all sorts of directions because I have 3 screens in front of me to make sure that everything is working. But concentrate on the slides because the meat is there. So today we have a webinar packed full of information about how to build a website with WordPress, the most widely used CMS, content management system in the web. So first of all, I am assuming you have installed WordPress. So now I'm also full screen. You see it's slide 3 and now we're perfect. So I'm assuming you have installed WordPress. Congratulations, welcome to the family. With it, you can create your website. It doesn't matter how small or big. It can start small with a couple of pages and a blog like the one we're going to build today and grow into an empire. And you can do that without ever leaving the software you just installed. Everything you do can be undone, changed, and improved. And I see a lot of people not getting a website because they have this idea of how the perfect website should look like in their mind. So I started building websites back in 1999, and a lot of things have changed in the industry, but one thing hasn't changed since then. A website is never done. And this, actually, I'm saying this not to discourage you, but actually to encourage you to start now and never stop experimenting. So today I would like to guide you through some basics so you will be less anxious to start acting right away. That's my hope, at least. As an example, I will use a local flower shop that wants to have a web page where they have all the useful information, a page to contact them, and a blog so they can tell a little bit more about their love of plants. And also, I'm taking a pause here to get some water and tell you that you don't have to worry. This webinar is going to be recorded. Then we're going to collect your questions and we're going to answer them, put everything in the SiteGround.com/blog. We're going to do this next week, so don't worry if there's some steps that are not clear to you. Don't worry, because this is recorded and we're going to send it to you when the blog post is ready, to the same email you used to register to the webinar. All right, so after you install WordPress through your SiteGround user area, the first time you will log into WordPress admin area, you will be shown the WP Starter, the WordPress Starter, a setup wizard that will guide you through 3 easy steps to pick a theme and install your first plugin. If you're not a SiteGround customer yet, don't worry. The things I'll show later apply to everyone, but this step is especially for our customers that are setting up a new website. So this is the screen, and from here, click on Start Now. You will start by picking a theme. We have partnered with trusted theme developers to offer you lots of options. You can filter them by the type of website you want to build. By clicking on the different categories, you will see different a choice of themes that suit best. I am going to go back to see all the themes, and I'm picking the default one installed 2017, which is one of the themes pre-installed with WordPress. Don't stress too much about this. This can be changed at any time. So I am loading it. I'm going to see the preview. It works. It's just fine. And I'm going to go and continue. In the second step, you will be able to pick some plugins. This will give you the most common functionalities needed by the majority of websites. You will notice that contact form is pre-selected. You can uncheck it, but I suggest you don't. A form is a great way to get people to connect with you. And since I'm building a website for a local shop, it's important to show people where they can find us, so they can walk to us or drive to us. So I selected maps. And the other thing that I really want are galleries, because I want to be able to show my beautiful flower. Remember, we're building a website for a flower shop. So galleries are a great way to show multiple pictures in the same page. So go on and select it and then click continue. The third step is all about marketing. Now, today I won't have time to go also through this because I promise you there's a lot to cover, but don't worry, this deserves its own webinar. So we're gonna do one later this year. And we can show you this. So I'm gonna go and click complete. The installation has started. All the plugins you see have been vetted by us, so to remove the guesswork. And we're also installing some sample data, so you will have some pre-populated data and you can actually edit it instead of starting from zero. Congrats, your site is ready, and now it's time to go to your dashboard and suspense. Wait for it. Here it is. This is my dashboard. Now we're ready to start. We have installed WordPress, we have installed the plugins, the themes, all those kind of things. So we're going to build a website, which is kind of a business card for this business, because the shop owner will not sell online, but she wants to have some information. She or he wants to have some information on the web. So I want to really keep it simple and easy to follow, because I really hope this will help you and you will not be postponing going online. Obviously, making a website can be a lot more complex than this, but let's start with the basics, because starting is very important right now. We'll start by building a homepage where people can find the most relevant information they're looking for. So probably they want to see a description of the shop. You can give them some information and other useful stuff you want to tell people. We're going to go step by step. I told you I'm here with you and I'm not leaving you until you get your website. No, I'm kidding. But let's go step by step. So if you are rewatching this is going to be easier for you. We're going to start by adding a new page, giving it a title, adding some content, and hit publish. You see the loading because I prepared the videos. I'm always terrified that something won't work. So there are multiple ways to add a new page. We're here in our dashboard. We can go from manage pages, or you can go from the top navigation bar. You click on nav and you'll see, click on new and you'll see some items, or you can go from pages. I'll pick this one and add a new one, and it's a blank page. So I'm going to add the title, which is home, and I want to add some content. So I prepared some content on Google Documents, so you don't have to see me type. And also I wanted to show you how easy it is to move content from Google Documents to WordPress. You can see there's some formatting going on. There's a title, there are some paragraphs, and then I will just go and paste. And as you can see, the formatting is there. This was a title in my Google Documents, and it's a title in my WordPress page. This is a paragraph, and I have my paragraph. And if there was a list or other things, they would be here. I can save the draft, I can preview, but I'm just going to go and hit publish. There is a stage here where I can check, and let's go. Let's see what I produced for now. Okay, we have ourselves a page. It is not much, I will admit it, but it's here. It's a start. we want to add some stuff now to the homepage. So we want to add a map and the gallery. Those are the plugins that I installed with the WP Starter. So I first have to create the map and the gallery and then add them to my page. Let's start with the map. From the left sidebar menu, click on Maps. Since this is the first time I use the plugin, it will bring me to a welcome page. I'm going to skip it and go straight to Maps. The first map is created for me, so I can just edit and use it. So I'm going to click on Edit. And also because this is the first time I'm using the plugin, I have to choose which maps engine I'm going to use. And I'm going to use Open Layers because I want to try something new. Select the engine and we will go back to the screen. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add the address of my shop. This is actually the address of a floral shop here in my hometown of Torino, Italy. And after I added this, I can add the marker. The marker will show in the map, and it looks like exactly where Torino is in Europe, but I will zoom in because I want to make sure that the address is the right one, but also this is how the map is going to be visualized in my homepage once I embed it. So I want my customers to be able to see this a bit zoomed in, scrolling down, tons of options. This is your homework. You are going to explore the things on your own. I'm going to save the map, always to save things just to make sure. And I got my map ready to go. Then I am going to create my gallery. So again, multiple ways. I'm going to go from full gallery on the left sidebar, and I'm going to click on Add Gallery. I will give a name to my gallery. Please give a name that is meaningful, because at some point you might have hundreds of galleries. So give one that makes sense. And then I have to add some images from the media library, but I don't have any images in my website. So now I am going to upload some images from my computer to the website. Clicking on Select File, I have prepared some images, which I suggest you do before you upload them. So it's going to be a bit quicker. Select them all, click on Open, and the upload process will start. You see all the images being uploaded. You also see on the right side of the screen some fields, which I'm not entirely sure we're going to have time to go through today, but remember to fill alt text, title, and caption if you're using someone else's images. In this case, for example, I'm using images from Unsplash, which is a website where you can get royalty-free images, and you have to give attribution to the photographer. You can also, as you can see, you can select and unselect, check and uncheck images. I'm going to check them all and click on Add Media. So here are my items. If I move the mouse over the images, I see more controls. And for example, I see that this image doesn't really fit with this, so I'm removing it, and I'm checking the gallery preview. That's not exactly what I had in mind. So if you scroll down, gallery settings, again, tons of settings. Let's see how the image viewer looks like. It's a slider kind of thing. Doesn't look good for my taste for this website, so we'll go with Justified. And that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted a gallery that will look good no matter what's the size and the shape of the images. Tons of settings, more homework for you, but also don't go crazy. Like, you don't have to change all the settings and pick all the settings. Trust the system a little bit. My gallery is ready. I'm going to hit publish, so I have it and I can add it to my homepage, which is my next step. So I'm going to edit my homepage. I'm going to add the map via the map block. I'm going to add the gallery through its block, and it's going to look a lot nicer, hopefully. So back to the dashboard. I'm usually starting my videos from here so you get familiar with the user interface if you haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to pages, and you see I have all pages. On one of the items is all pages. Oh, spoiler alert, you'll see there are other pages, but for now we're concentrating on home. So click on home to edit. I have the content as I left it with the no color, no pictures, but I will add the gallery in this place. So I'm going to use the full gallery block, and I have to select the gallery. This is why I told you, give it a meaningful name. There is my gallery homepage selected, and here it is. Then I want to add my map. I will repeat the process of adding a block, looking for the WP Google Maps, which is the name of my plugin. I don't have to pick anything here because I only have one map. Clicking on update now because the page was already published, and I'm gonna go and view the page. I'm excited to see how it looks like. And there I have it. I have now a gallery with my beautiful flowers, and I have a map. So this is starting to really look a lot more like a website. I want to add a contact page. We said I want to add a contact page. Again, it's a two-step. I want to prepare the form with all the fields I need to save it, and then I will add it to my page. Again, starting from here, you can start from multiple places. This time I'm gonna do it from the top navigation bar. And I know that there was a form installed during the installing procedure, but I'm not gonna use this one. I'm gonna click on add the new so we can all start together. This is where you put your form name. I forgot to do this, and I'll show you later why it's important. I'm picking the simple contact form because that's going to be enough for what I want to do. And here is the form, and it has all the basic information you want to get: the name, the email, and the message. They're all required fields, and the submit button. But I want to add some more fields. So I want to add a phone number. Phone, as you can see, it's in the fancy fields, which means that it's in the paid version of the plugin. For the webinar, I'm using the free one, so I'm adding the standard field of numbers. The field appeared in my form, and now I dragged it on top of comments. I'm changing the label, which is the name that you will see above the field, to phone number. You can make it required, unrequired, but I want to play around a little bit more. And I also want to make it a bit friendly for the people that visit me. So I'm going to add a single line. You see it appeared on the bottom of the screen, and I'm going to call it favorite flower. So hopefully when people send me a message through the contact form, they will also send me what's their favorite flower. I'm going to hit save. And now I can exit the screen because my form is ready. Now I'm going to add it to a page. Again, we're going to add a new page. We're going to get a title, copy, add the form, and publish. But I know that I have a contact us page, so I'm going to use it this time because it's there, ready for me to be used. So clicking on the title, contact us, will take me to the screen. And again, we're going to add the block. I am looking for the form block because I didn't see it in the first few ones. So I'm typing form into the search form, and then here it is, the WP forms. You have to select a form, and here you see why I should have picked a better name for it. But anyway, next time. So here is my form, exactly like I wanted it to be. And I'm going to add some content to make it a bit nicer for people. And again, it's an update because the page was already existing. Let's see how it looks like. In WordPress, there are multiple ways to do stuff. So for example, here I can hit the preview button, or on the top left, on the bottom left, there is a view page that you can use. And here's my contact form. Are you ready? Because now it's getting serious. We want to add a blog, and we want to add our first blog post. So despite what you might have heard, blogs are still alive and well. And they're still a great way to build your reputation and drive traffic to your website. In this specific case, and this step is going to be different for every theme, basically. So on the theme that I picked, I have to do some prep work. First, I have to add a new page that I will call blog, and it's going to be the page where all my posts are going to appear. And then I have to change the reading settings to make sure that the website knows which one is the home page and which one is the blog page. So let me show you what I mean, because it's a lot easier. If I go now to the home page, I see posts and nothing found. So before you hit get started here, despite the fact that I really would like you to start by writing your post, we have to do this, this prep work. So I'm going to go and create a new page. I'm going to do it from the top navigation bar this time, so I can show you different ways to get to the same place. I have this new blank page. I'm going to call it blog, and I'm just going to go and hit publish. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to the dashboard, because now I have to go and change the settings. Scrolling down, you'll see settings, and you'll see there's an item called reading in the sub menu. So reading and just means that you're telling the website what it should read. So right now your homepage displays your latest post, and we have none, but I wanted to show a static page, my home page, and then I want to show the posts in the blog page. Save changes, don't forget. Now it's settings saved, and let's go back and see if I have my home page as I created it. Suspense. Here it is. There I have my homepage with my gallery and my map on the bottom, so I can go on and write my blog post. Again, step by step, I'm not leaving you on your own. I don't want to pile too much information on you. I wanted to keep this under 30 minutes. It's not going to happen, but there are some things that I cannot avoid telling you. So I don't want to go too theoretical, but there is a difference between pages and posts. So pages are for static content. What I mean by static is not content that won't change, because if you have some updates to your bio or to the content page or whatever, make sure to update and then update the page. But the posts are tied to time. So they are great to write news or write tutorials or whatever will go into that blog section. So let's go. Tell a story. That's one thing that I want to tell you about blog posts and not just the technical stuff. So I'm starting by adding a post. You already know this UI. It's familiar to you. What changes is the part on the right. You have some different things that you had. I pasted my content in, so not to bore you. I decided that I'm going to write a monthly column about the flower of the month, and now it's time to add some images. So while I was looking on Google, found out that July is the month of the water lilies. I don't have any images in my media library for this blog post, so I'm going to go ahead and upload them. As I said, I'm telling a story. So this is the shop owner who's going on a walk in the woods, and she finds a pond with water lilies, and she's telling this story. As I told you, the alt text is important to fill in, because that's the text that the screen readers will read out loud. And attribution is very important, since I used all the images from Annie Spratt on Unsplash. I made a tutorial, and I also want to add a video tutorial. Now, don't upload videos into your website. It's useless. It will fill your disk. So upload it to YouTube first. Then once the video is on YouTube, go copy the URL. You're gonna paste it here and click on embed. So that there are lots of different blocks to embed different content. Right now we used the YouTube block. Now let's address some of those things that you see on the right side of the page. The first one is publishing. You can publish immediately, or let's say I'm going to schedule this for the future. You saw that it changed from publish to schedule. This time I really want to publish this right now. Actually, I'm going to date it June to fake writing a post before its due time. The flower of the month is going to be a monthly column, so I can create a category for it. And then I'm going to add some tags. Now, tags are there to refine the content of the category. So in this specific case, I can use July because hopefully I will write more flower of the month posts for years to come, and water lilies because maybe I have a passion for water lilies. Let's add also a featured image. Nothing in the media library looks like what I want the featured image for this blog post to be. So luckily, Annie Spratt provided me with a beautiful water lily image that I'm going to use. Set as featured image. That's it. I'm going to hit publish. Pre-checks, update, and view the post. Oh, it looks perfect. I have my header. I have my content, including my video, the tag, and the category. Great. I still have a few things to go through. So we have uploaded our first pieces of content to the website. Now let's configure the menu so people will find a way around the website. We want to add a menu so people will be able to access all the different areas we already have. And right now, I only see contact us. So to change this, I will have to go into the menus section. And I will do so by going to my WordPress menus. And we're going to get into a new screen. Or I can go to dashboard, appearance, menus. So it's really up to you how you prefer to do it. This is a new screen. You can see that we already have a menu, an existing menu with one page, contact us, and the location is top menu. There is also a social links menu that unfortunately I won't be able to show you in this presentation, but I want to have all my pages. So let's select them all and let's add to menu. Contact us is now showing twice because it was already there. I can easily remove it. I can also move things around. I think contact us is better after blog. So now I'm going to save, always save, and see how this looks on my website. So visit site, and there I have it, home, blog, and contact us. And if I click on blog, now I will go to blog. And if I click on contact, I will go to contact, and home will bring me back home. Footers and sidebars. I don't know if you noticed while I was scrolling through things, I have some parts of the website that are not exactly like I want them to look like. And this is a common customization. So let's go and see how we can do it. As you can scroll, you see I have this archives, categories, and meta in the footer. The footer is the bottom part of your website, and I don't really need those. The same thing in the blog sidebar. I have recent comments, which is something that I personally don't want to have there. So to change these things, I have to use widgets, a new concept for you. So my WordPress and widgets. And you have yet another screen. On the left side, you will see what are the available widgets. And on the right side, you will see which widgets are available in this specific theme. So don't worry if you see something else in your website. As you can see, I have all those content in those in those areas. So I'm getting rid of the things that I don't want by dropping them to the left. And then I'm moving the categories in the blog sidebar, because actually it makes sense to have the category in the blog sidebar. I have big plans for my blog. In the footer, because it's going to show in every page of the website, I want to have more useful information. So for example, I'm adding my address and the phone number. Then you hit on save, and I'm doing this with the text widget, which is kind of a catch-it-all, and you can use it for so many things. In this specific text, in this specific example, I'm really using a text, so it's the correct one to use. Let's go see what my website looks like now. I cannot see the chat, so I don't know how you're reacting to all of this, but I am excited by doing this things. So I have my information on the bottom, and on my right side, I now have the categories. I don't like those text, both of the information and the time in one column. So I'm going to move it to footer 2. And now let's see how it looks like. Now it's on 2 columns, and that's exactly what I wanted it to be. There's still so much to see, and I really wish we could be here for like 5 hours to really show you everything. As you can probably tell, I really love WordPress, and I really love empowering people to use their websites, and this is something that we love doing at SiteGround. So there are still some things that are not exactly like I wanted them to be. So I will go into the theme options. To do so, I will use the customize screen. You see it on the top, you see customize if you go on your website, and yet another screen. Now the customizer is very powerful. You can do a lot of changes from here. As you can tell, there are some sections like menus, widgets, homepage settings, or the site identity and stuff like that that are also in the WordPress dashboard. So I'm not gonna talk about those, but there are some things that are really nice to do from here. Also, notice how you see this blue pencils. You can add it directly. One thing that I really want to change is the name of the website, because that's not my WordPress, but it's Annie's Flower Shop. And the tagline: please don't leave just another WordPress website, but add something that is meaningful to your business, because this is going to show up in search results. So you want to make it meaningful. The other thing that I want to change is an image on my header. This cactus is great, but I want to have something else. You can have a video. So again, don't upload the video. Please enter the URL of a video you have uploaded there. But let's go for an image. It tells me that it has to be 2000 by 1200 pixels. So I have prepared an image for that side, so I don't have to waste time. Select and crop. I don't have to crop because the image is there. And there I have a new header image, which is kind of cool and works better with what I want to do. The other thing that you can change only from the customizer is this. So I want my homepage to be 1 column and not 2. And because I feel that my blog game is going to be very strong, I want my blog post to show in the homepage, and I have an option for that. So the other great thing about the customizer is that you can see what a website will look like in different devices. And I just went and hit publish. Let's see how the website is going to look like. Here it is with a new header, its proper name. So it's Annie Flower Shop, a local flower shop, and not my WordPress, the homepage is a one column. I have my information on the bottom. So this now really looks like a website. Okay, I am excited and I want to go online. But before you start advertising your website, I suggest you do some final checks. Test the links. In this specific website, we don't have any link right now, but make sure they all work. The other thing is to test the contact form because you can send an email to yourself. Obviously, in half an hour, I couldn't go through all the settings of this specific plugin, but you might need to set up, for example, the recipient email of the messages that come through your contact form. So make sure you check that. Make sure that all the information is correct. And you should do that every once in a while, not just before you go online. Because if you change anything, your time, your address, or whatever other things changes, please change it. And finally, I haven't mentioned anything about GDPR or privacy or any legal obligation you have if you have a website about your business. So these probably change for every country. So before you go online, make sure your website is compliant to local laws. In Italy, for example, if you're not GDPR compliant, the fine can be up to 4% of your yearly revenue. And I guess you don't want to give that away. So invest in this. And so I'm very glad to be able to finish my webinar with telling you that the next webinar we're going to host is going to be on July 21st. And we're going to do it with Ubenda, which is our partner for anything GDPR related. And they're going to tell you everything about privacy, cookies, and GDPR. So that is all from me for now. I am gonna stop sharing my screen in a second, so you will see me. As I said, this is going to be recorded. We're also going to collect your questions. So next week, we're going to publish a blog post with the webinar and some questions and some answers, of course. And we will send you an email to the same email address you used to register for the webinar. So, wow. That was fast, I know. That was a lot of information, but I also wanted to leave enough time for questions because hopefully you have lots of them. So I'm gonna go and stop the screen sharing and I'm gonna see your questions. So let's see what you have for me. And don't forget to follow us. Those are all the addresses, so you can stay up to date on what we are doing at SiteGround. We're planning a lot of webinars for the upcoming months, so I would suggest you go on and follow us. Now, I'm not exactly sure if right now you can see me or not, because my screen actually shows waiting for host to reconnect. So again, let me know. I'm counting on you to tell me what's going on. So you're seeing me, and so you're seeing my face. Fantastic. Okay, so let's go and see your questions. I see there are quite a few. So I'm gonna go and try to reply to the ones that are most relevant to our webinar. But first thing first, I need to drink some water because that was fast. So the first question is, instead of creating a blog post, if I created a page as a blog page using the Astra template, how do I create an index of blogs on that page and create a link to open a new web page for my new blog posts instead of just scrolling down. I think you mean pagination. I'm not exactly sure. So actually, I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Let me move some things around so it will be easier for you to see me. So I'm not exactly sure I get this question, but if you're asking about pagination, so for example, you want to show only five blog posts in the homepage, and then the next five in the next page, and so on. When we went into settings and readings, in that screen, you also had the number of blog posts that will be shown in the blog archive. So if you set right now it's set to 10, but if you set that to 5, once you reach the 5th blog post, it's going to go to the next page. So I don't know if this answers your question, but if that was the question, this is the answer. So the next question is, hi everyone, from Victor. Can you please tell me how to display? That jumped to the next one. Oh, I see. The questions are jumping, so I have to be more careful. My question, so I have to change questions. Sorry. My question is, how do I set up a default email notification to allow users to sign up, create an account, and also register for courses on my site? Well, Melvin, this actually depends on the plugin you're using for making a website in your course. So I'm not able to reply to this because I don't know which thing you are using. Hi, will you be using WordPress, Divi, and some plugins? I didn't use Divi. I use the default theme that is coming with the WP Starter right now, which is 2017, one of the default WordPress themes. And I showed how to use some plugins. So maybe for another time, Divi, we'll see. So the next question is, with the forms, I could get the forms set up and working, got the confirmation, but I didn't get the email. I was overwhelmed with the options and steps involved in PHP, SMTP, new accounts, API. So I don't know if you use WP Forms or another plugin. Actually, one of our viewers replied to this question and said, I use WP Forms and WP Mail SMTP plugins. This article solved my issue the other day, and he linked to an article from WP Beginner, which are our partners, and they're doing great by explaining things for WordPress beginners. So that could be the answer. What else do we have? What exactly is static content? So it's a bit tricky because static and dynamic have a very precise meaning where you're talking development. What I mean when I say static content in my website is content that the content itself, so the wording and the information is going to change, but an about page is going to be an about page forever. Even if you change from about me to about us, it doesn't matter. That is going to be a page that says, who are you, right? So it also means, and I don't want to go overly technical because I tend to nerd out a little bit, sorry. So it also means that its position is going to be somewhere and it's going to be staying there in the database, and it doesn't matter when it was created. Now, on the other hand, the posts are tied to the time and the date. So when you created the post, that is tied to the post itself. But Again, not to go overly complicated, because then I'm just probably going to confuse you more. Think of the static content as some pages in your website that contain information for your customers that are not tied to time. So the About page is a great example. Use a page and not a post, because that's what pages are for. What else do we have? Ruta has a question about SSL. How to make sure that redirect from HTTP to HTTPS works correctly when I install Let's Encrypt offered through SiteGround for free. You have to enforce HTTPS, and you have an option in your site tools, so in the site tools of your website. Let's see, what is another question I have? Is there a way to create a blog with a theme from a plugin, such as if I'm using an Elementor theme for my site, but want to add a blog? So Elementor is a plugin, as you said, and it's a page builder that you can use to customize not just your pages and posts, actually, but it's very powerful, and you can also customize your theme. So I know that Elementor offers a theme which is specifically optimized for Elementor. There are also other themes that you can use together with Elementor. Most of the themes that you will see in our WordPress starter actually work with Elementor. And as Sitanshu told you in the comment, I'm using WP Ocean theme, which captures the current date rather than, I don't know, that's a different, it was replying to something different. But basically, if you use Elementor as a plugin, Elementor as a theme, a default theme that you can use, so then it will be easier to use it to its full potential. Ooh, there's a lot of questions. That's great. So this one is, if I started a WordPress site, but I want to reset it, start all the way from the beginning, how do I do? And I love that our audience also replies to a question. It makes my life a lot easier, I can tell you that. So Akshay says, if you're using SiteGround, then you can click on the site tools for your website, then click on WordPress, install and manage, click on the 3 dots near your page and delete application. Then reinstall as you started from before. That's a great way to do it. And if you have a Go Geek or Grow Big plan, you can just go on and add a new website with a temporary domain, build everything you want, make sure that that's exactly how you want it, and then when you're ready to go online, you can change the domain. I have more questions. I have one now that has 3 votes, is the top one. What is the easiest way to resize photos so you don't get the image is too big message? Sarah, is a question from Sarah. So there are multiple ways to do this. Honestly, if you're just starting out and you don't want to invest in tools, you can probably do this from the image viewer on your operating system. If you have a MacBook, or if you're using Mac operating system, then you can go that from preview. You open the image, and that's exactly what I did, by the way, for this demo. So, it's nothing fancy, but it works. So I opened the image on preview, and then I can't remember exactly where, probably in tools or something like this, but go over the menu and see all the options. You have something like resize image. So then you can scale it down. To this day, the most used size of screens is still PC laptop, which is around, I think, 1,000 366 by 768 or something like that. So there is no use for having like a 4,000 pixel image. You can just go down to 1,200 and it will look good on most screens. If you want to go a bit fancier, use 2,000, but that would be enough. So you resize that and then you upload it. By the way, the whole topic of speed optimization, so resizing images is also important for speed optimization. If you go to our website, you go to SiteGround.com, you scroll down to the footer. Now you know what a footer is, and you will see there is a section with all our ebooks. They're free for you to download. So add your email, no spam. We really care about privacy. So you can download an ebook about speed optimization, which will definitely help. What else? Okay, I have a question from Giselle. I really hope I didn't butcher your name, sorry. If we are making changes to our current website, is there a way to keep the current website live and work on a private view while we view test changes? There is, and it's called staging. So if you have our Grow Big and Go Geek plan, this is included. You go and basically you create a copy of your website as it is right now. You can make all the changes you want, and then when you're ready, you can deploy it back to the live website. So that would be a way to do it. Or you can do a local installation and do things locally and then duplicate that online. There are multiple ways to go, but staging, if you're a SiteGround customer, I would definitely recommend staging. How to optimize images automatically to fit the necessary dimensions for WordPress. So how to resize the images, I covered this in a previous question. If you actually mean to see beforehand, so before you change the size of the image, before you upload them and make sure these are the right size, I am now going on one of my websites to see if, because it's in the settings, it will show you what is the size of the website. Maybe I can try and share my screen again so I can show you this live. No, I cannot share my screen, sorry. But anyway, if you want to see beforehand what are the sizes of the images allowed in your theme, you will go to settings, and there's an item in the menu called media. Click on media, and there it will tell you what are the media sizes for that specific theme. So for example, for the theme I was using, the thumbnail size is 150 by 150 pixels. The medium size is 300 by 300, and the large size is 1024 by 1024. There will be so some information is not here. For example, you recall from the recording that I needed to have a 2000 by 1200 pixel image for the header of my website, and that's an information that I got from the customizer. So this is why I'm really encouraging you to kind of look around and see all the different options, because probably some of these options are going to be in the customizer, but some are going to be in media. We still have 5 minutes to go, and I have a question from Giamfi Badiaco. Again, sorry if I butcher your name. How do I create more columns in my footer? So Themes come with a number of widgets area in the footer. So for example, the theme I was using now, 2017, only has 2 columns. So if I want to add a third column, I need to register a widget area, and then I will be able to drag and drop content there. To register a widget area, you actually have to know how to write PHP, because you have to register a function in the functions.php file. So this is not something that you can do like this in this specific theme. I am pretty sure there is a plugin for it somewhere in the WordPress repo. And if you're using a page builder, there might be some options there. But you either register the widget area in your functions.php file, or you look for a plugin like we all do when we don't want to write code. So that would be my question. How do you add an opt-in list to start email list to your website? In the third step of the WP Starter, there was an option to add a plugin to do opt-in forms. I didn't go through that because I thought it was enough to cover in our time together. So I didn't go through that, but look for opt-in Monster, which is a great plugin to create opt-in form and start your email marketing. I see a lot of questions, and we still have 3 minutes to go. So let's see if there is something that is easy to do. Is using CAPTCHA good for security? Which one is the best and secure CAPTCHA to use? Again, one of our audience members added the reply, so you can use. I would actually suggest to use Google's reCAPTCHA, like Angel did. So it's a bit easier to use. But yeah, definitely, like anything you can add, any security measure you can add, it's a welcome measure. What else? Have you covered GDPR and cookies? So no, but that's going to be our next webinar on July 21st. So please mark that in your calendar, but also follow us on social media. We're SiteGround everywhere, of course, so you can keep up to date with the next webinar we're going to do. And we have quite a few planned, so I really suggest you follow us. And you can also follow us here on Crowdcast. So next time we schedule a webinar, you're going to get the notice. I also saw, because now I'm distracted by the chat and I also see the questions in the chat, I also saw someone asking for the address for the ebook that I mentioned about the speed optimization. So just go to SiteGround.com, which is our website, scroll down to the footer and you'll see a section with the free ebooks. There's quite a few there. So there's one about security, speed optimization. I'm pretty sure we have one about WooCommerce. We have one for small businesses. So there's a number of things. You just need to leave your email address and we'll send it to you. And I also promise we won't spam you, because that's what GDPR is for. So we are now at least in Torino, Italy, it's 7 p.m. I don't know what time is in your part of the world. I was scrolling back in the previous days before we went online, and I saw that there are people from all over the world. And this is always kind of amazing to see how many people join us for the webinars, and we enjoy doing them. So that would be all for me for tonight. Stay tuned, because as I said, this is recorded and we're going to send you an email to the same email you used to register for the webinar, with the video recording of the webinar and more questions and more answers. So Elena, I think you can now stop. Elena is my colleague that has been assisting us throughout this hour, and she is the one replying. So I think you can hit on stop, and that's it. We got ourselves a new webinar also for this month. Thank you very much for being with us this month too. Ciao. Stay safe.